Well, today is a sad day for all fans of the featherweight division. Now, I can completely understand if you're a Georgian lover, you might live there or whatever. I completely understand, but just you gotta understand something. Max Holloway, he represents a lot of us. You know what I mean? But I guess we found out Saturday night, didn't we?
Mm,
Overall, I did pretty terrible on picks, not gonna lie. Or maybe I did. I wasn't keeping track. This card was pretty good. Basically, I'm just gonna making a video if you haven't caught along here on the picks, or sorry, the breakdown of UFC 308. Just happened. One of the craziest. I'm not gonna say good, but one of the craziest cards I would say of the year. I mean, would I say that? I mean, overall, above average, but, like, it's just, like, it's a crazy fight card if you still like Hamzat and if you still like Ilya Taporia, but let's say if you're on that other side, hey, I'm on that same boat with you there, brother. But anyways, it's unfortunate. I just, yikes. Definitely didn't feel bad as the Volkanovski knockout, but okay, well, I'm gonna save it for now. Let's get into the beginning here. We had Renat Fakhretdinov versus Carlos Leal. Now, of course, I got this pick right. Renat easily won, domination, wasn't even close. Definitely wasn't a bias because it's Abu Dhabi. Every round wasn't even close. Renat was just dominating, even though the numbers are off. Now Renat kind of shit, and he's getting gifted a lot of decisions. That one draw was a gifted draw. I think I'm hopping off the Renat train. I may have got the pick right, but let's say I didn't get the fight right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm hopping off that Renat train. I don't believe in a Renat Fakhretdinov anymore. I just don't. Carlos Leal was robbed brutally. This is probably one of those contenders for one of the worst one of the worst decisions in UFC history. Probably top 5, maybe even top 3. Yeah, it was horrible. Terrible robbery. Anyways, yeah, it just sucked. The fight was also boring. Wasn't even fun to watch. Anyways, moving on, we have Nerdiev versus Bruno Silva. Man, is it just me, or recently it's just like every fighter in Salt Lake City in their head or something? Like, I swear the past 4 or 5 events, normal fighters who typically have 3 to 5 rounds worth of cardio, they just have 1 round of cardio. Like, I don't know what's going on. Everyone just seems to mentally have Salt Lake City vibes in their brain. Bruno Silva, I guess, just had that. Whatever his name is, Nerdiev, got it done. Not impressively, he just barely won, was just slightly ahead in the later rounds. And yeah, there's not much to say. Bruno Silva just doesn't have it anymore. I guess he's okay with getting cut. Yeah, I mean, just cut Bruno Silva. He clearly doesn't have it anymore, I don't know if it's like a COVID-21 situation that's only affecting UFC fighters, but lately it's just a lot of fighters that just gas out and they're just done on themselves, and then they get one more chance and then they do the same performance, and it's like, can we just cut them already, Anyways, got the fight wrong. I was picking Bruno Silva. I was thinking like decision, at least because he was tough, but I guess he only has 1 round of cardio. I guess it's a Brazilian thing now. I swear to God, if we see like Alex Pereira gas out in round 2, I think time to move on. You know what I mean? Yeah, Bruno Silva is just moving on. We have Farid Basharat versus Victor Hugo. I actually thought this fight was a little close. No, I thought it was fair because it was a 29-28. Unanimous is fine, I guess. Farid is just slightly faster than Victor. Or not slightly faster, just did slightly more, even though Victor missed weight. I think Farid did a good job. I'm still just not seeing it you know? Like, I get it, he's 13-0, but, like, he doesn't present any problems, you know? It's more or less people just do mistakes on some of these flawless fighters in the lower weight classes, you know? It's like, Victor Hugo just kept on trying to go for, like, a, what is it called? A heel hook, but it's a thing, and an Imanari roll. He kept on trying to go for Imanari rolls, kept on letting his back get taken, you know, kept on trying to get a heel hook while on bottom, like, I get it, like, you're good at it, but if it doesn't work the first time, you need to mix it up, you know what I mean? And Farid Basharat just, like, had free rounds because Victor Hugo just kept on throwing it away by rolling his ass on the ground. Got the fight right. I picked Farid Basharat, but you know, still not seeing it, you know what I mean? So far, what, we're 2-1? Moving on, Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Chris Barnett. Yes, you can laugh. I did pick Chris Barnett. Only because I will never pick Kennedy Nzechukwu. I don't care what matchup it is. He's terrible. He's one of the worst fighters I've ever seen. He has some of the lowest IQ I've ever seen. And Chris Barnett on... Jesus Christ. Chris Barnett, man. Jesus Christ. Oh. This fight was pretty much as shit as, like you hear, oh, heavyweights, okay. Who do we have? Kennedy Nzechukwu and Chris Barnett after a 3-year layoff. You know? And you're just like, so it's shit. And yeah, that's pretty much what this was. It was just you know, Chris Barnett threw a kick, his leg gave out due to obesity. You know, brother's gotta lose some weight, you know? Hey. If you don't know, I'm a former, you know, outing myself, I'm a former Chris Barnett myself, you know what I mean? You know, a little too many Big Macs, I guess we can say. You know, so Chris Barnett, brother, hit me in the DMs, you know? I can get you on some weight loss programs, and if you need proof, I'll send you the DM myself, you know? But I don't, you know, just Chris Barnett, man. 40 years old, like, what are you doing at fucking 450 pounds, bro? Like, I swear, Chris Barnett's goal is that he's gonna be the first, UFC fighter to be on my 600-pound life. That's kind of what this fight looked like, to be honest with you. Anyways, moving on. Kennedy gets it done. Congratulations, you beat a nobody who 3 years off. He's fought barely anyone. He's coming off a loss streak, and he just got cut from the UFC. Still couldn't beat ODSP, just saying. Anyways, moving on. We have Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira. Now, this one's tough for me, I'm going to be honest. I picked Bruno. I got this one wrong again. This one's tough for me, you know? I really like Bruno Ferreira, you know? I still believe in my boy, but Bruno, my guy, we got to talk about your finishing here, you know? You're not... I know you got, like, this DDP aura around you, right, brother? But, like, I need you to, like, clean it up, you know what I mean? Like, when you get tired, work out of the tiredness, you know what I mean? Like, I can sense it in you. You can be the next DDP. You just gotta, like, clean it up, man. Like, at least with DDP, he's taking shots and then he's throwing back, you know? With this, it's like, oh, man. You're letting a boost submit you in round 3. You know what I mean? Like, this is like watching... This is like literally watching Mikael Pereira submit you in round 3. It's like, what are you doing? You know? Like, let's clean it up, man. I can sense it in you, you know? You got that heart, that determination. Dye your hair white again. You know, brown hair Bruno Ferreira is not the play. We need to get some dye in that hair color, as we know that obviously makes Brazilians fight better. I thought he won clearly round 1 and 2, though. Or, sorry, round 2. I thought Abus won round 1. He was looking good until he just got taken down. And it's like, brother, you know? And I know he's got good submission game. It's like, I need you to not get gassed against Abus fucking Magomedov, you know? I need you to get your scrambles going, alright? Literally, for the next 5 months, scrambles only, you know? I want to see you Corey Sandhagen your ass out of those fucking positions, alright? But... yeah, it's just sad to see, you know? I really do like Bruno Ferreira. And you know what? There's one thing to be said, alright? There's one thing we can look at, and we can say, hey, you know, he can still be the next DDP. And you want to know why? All I'm saying, right? DDP has been submitted and knocked out hasn't lost by decision yet. Hey, all I'm saying is Bruno Ferreira's losses, what are they? Submission by Abus and a knockout for Ruziboev, whatever the fuck his name was. Nursultan Ruziboev. Hey, he's on the right path, alright? We just need to speed it up a little bit, you know? He's not as young as a DDP, you know what I mean? So, we need to get this going, Bruno, alright? We need to, you know, I need you to lock in, brother, alright? Do your Brazilian country proud. And just get grinding on those scrambles, man. You gotta learn how to get to your feet, and that's pretty much all you gotta work on. The chin, it is what it is. People get knocked out, it is what it is, you know? But you can work on your ground game. This is sad to see. I'm disappointed, you know? But I'm disappointed in a way that makes you want to do better, alright? Anyways, moving on. We got Mateus Rebecki versus Orobai. Hey, all I'm saying, baby. I picked Rebecki, alright? Got this one correct. Broke that loss streak. What does that make me? 1, 2... Oh, it's like 3-3. Okay, so I'm 3-3. Rebecki, Orobai. This was just Rebecki had a really good start, and he just snowballed, you know? Is Orobai a fraud now? I don't think so. I just think Rebecki had, like, everything perfect in the first round, and I kind of picked him to outwork Orobai, and he kind of just did outwork Orobai, you know? And to be fair to Orobai, he's tough as shit. That judge shouldn't have given him the round, but I kind of... Okay, I don't get round 3. Round 2, like... Man, this is what I'm talking about. Like, man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't think you can give him at all the fight at all. Even split decision. It should have been an easy, unanimous Rebecki. But, warrior of a fight. I like both of them. Catch weight, it is what it is. Man. This is how I imagine people think Merab Divishvili fights, you know? Bloody war, fucking taken down, fucking rubbing the blood all over each other, fucking just swinging shots. One of them has their eye fully swollen, they can't even see out of it. Doctor doesn't give a fuck because they're warriors and they'll die in there, you know? So these guys are great examples of what you should be as a fighter, even in losses, so I respect them both. Got this one right. Rebecki was just... He had a really, really dominant first round, and he just kind of poured it on Orobai, and that's kind of just how it happened. Got close to gassing out in the final round, not gonna lie, but, yeah, Rebecki was just overall better. Like, he was just better everywhere, slightly, every time. You know, except for a little bit into round 2, and then the ending of round 3. Where Orobai started to pick up again. But it was just, like, I think Rebecki just did enough damage in round 1 to have long-lasting effects. Like, this is what people mean when it's like, oh, you gotta get some investment early on in a fight game. You know, you gotta get that body hurt, you know? You gotta get that chin a little cracked here and there, you know? You gotta get that eye swollen up, you know? And that's how you beat opponents that, on paper, are technically better than you, and a lot of people are picking against you. You know, you gotta find that way to snowball, and that's why everyone likes watching fighting, man. It's anyone's game, you know? Anyways, moving on. Great fight. Some people saying fight of the year. Whoa! Alright, let's not go that far. Maybe top 5, okay? But let's not forget some wars that happened this year, like... Moving on, we have Jeff Neal versus RDA. I picked RDA because I don't trust Jeff Neal. I still don't trust Jeff Neal. This was a fluke win. You know, if you want to take away my Renat pick because he technically lost the fight, but he won on the scorecards, fair enough. I would take this one away because RDA got injured. Just saying. But, yeah, so far, what would that be? I'm still even. That's 4-4. Yeah, Jeff Neal, RDA. Jeff Neal tagged him pretty well in the first round, and then RDA's just knee blew out, I guess. Could have been age, to be honest with you. A lot of people are trying to be like, oh, well, it's when he stepped back here. Oh, well, it's when he was doing the butterfly. It could literally just be his meniscus tore at the age of, you know, 49. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Moving on, Ibo Aslan versus Rafael Cualquiera. I don't remember who I picked. I think I picked Ibo. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I'm wrong, I guess. I don't care. I don't like either of these guys. I think they're both still dog shit. And this literally proves nothing, because Rafael didn't throw a single punch. He got wobbled off one strike. That's all that happened, and that's it. And then Ibo teed off. Rafael didn't throw back. That was the whole fight. Alright, moving on to the main card. Char Bullet, Armen Petrosian. Let's just say I'm even right now. What would that be? 4-4? Yeah. I don't remember what I picked for Ibo. I'm not going to count it. Let's just say I'm 4-4. Shara versus Armen. This makes me 5-4. I absolutely was correct on this pick. Shara was just slightly better than Armen everywhere. But I will say Shara is having really shitty first rounds. I'm not going to lie to you. I think we're noticing a trend here. Shara needs to work into a rhythm. You know? I think we're learning that Shara, number one, sucks when it's coming down to takedowns, but thank God he's got that ginger gene in him, as we all know. You know, just saying, you know, as we know, gingers are known for their power. And thank God the Cliff Dweller's got that ginger in him. You know, it makes him a striker. Giga Chad jeans, just saying. Anyways. But yeah, Shara gets it done. Wicked finish, because it was a spinning back fist into a spinning back fist in round 2. Round 1 was definitely close. A lot of people, I think, scored it Armen. It is Abu Dhabi. They probably gave it to Shara. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't seen the scorecards, but I wouldn't be surprised, you know. Armen Petrosian's shit, though, and if he's giving you problems in round 1, I'm a little worried. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little worried for Shara. I think just give him the Jack Hermanson test, you know? I like that idea. I saw that from someone. Just give him the Jack Hermanson test already, you know? I think it's time he gets a ranked opponent, but, like, I'm worried, you know? We'll see what that ranked opponent... You know what I mean? Like, if a Joe Pyfer goes against Char Bullet, I'm thinking Joe Pyfer wins that, you know? Joe Pyfer's got wicked first rounds. Char Bullet's got shit first rounds. And almost every first round he gets lit up once or twice, and it's like, oh, you know, oh, Macau tagged him there. You know, it's like... Eesh. I'm getting worried for Shara, for sure, you know? Like, his worst style matchup is like a Mikel Tejeda. Other than that, he does really well against everyone else. Moving on, unless a grappler. Bo Nickel probably clears him. I'm not going to be delusional, but it is what it is. Got that one right, 5-4. Moving on, Lerone Murphy, Dan Ige. I picked Dan Ige. I thought the fight was really close, and I thought Dan Ige could have squeaked it, because he did have control time going on for 3 minutes in the final round. I know Lerone Murphy kind of outlanded him in the final round, but I thought Dan Ige... I thought he warranted at least a split. Definitely no 30-27 nonsense, but, yeah. Dan Ige just had that gassing effect, just like earlier in the card. This is what I'm saying, like, all these, like, vets that normally have, like, really good cardio, even on short notice fights against Diego Lopez. It's like, where's that fire in your stomach? You know what I mean? Like, Dan Ige, do you gotta go get your wife pregnant again or something to get that heat in your hands? No, but he was throwing hard. Lerone Murphy got tagged really early. I think what we learned from this fight is Lerone Murphy does not deal well with people who are very aggressive, you know? And Dan Ige tried to be that, and I guess he just gassed out, and then he didn't have enough gas in the tank to finish it. I do think Lerone Murphy's still shit. Like, his ranking, in my mind, hasn't moved since his debut. Or not his debut. His fight against Gabriel Santos, I think his name was. What was his name? Gabriel Santos. I was right. It just hasn't moved since then, you know? He deals with problems whenever somebody's aggressive with him, you know? And then, where are we? Featherweight. A lot of aggressive guys, you know? Like, I think he would do really well against... I think, like, a Yair Arnold Allen would probably smoke Murphy, you know? I think Evloev is probably the type of guy that Lerone Murphy wants to feed off of. But yeah, like, there's ways that he gets to the title, I'm not gonna lie, but he's still not that good. Like, his striking isn't, like, great. His grappling isn't great. He's just good at, like, okay, now I do this to win the round. Like, knees to the thigh is what I'm saying here. You know what I mean? Moving on, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic. This is another disappointing fight, man. This one was just disappointing because Ankalaev really did nothing other than one takedown attempt. Or no, he didn't. No, I swear he shot. Didn't he? Am I misremembering that? Maybe I'm thinking he clinched. That might have been it. But regardless, Ankalaev literally had a jab and an overhand right. And that was it. And Ankalaev just... I don't know what was wrong with Ankalaev. It literally looked like his brain turned off mid-round 2. It's like, round 1, probably a Rakic round, really close. Some morons were scoring it, Ankalaev. That was ridiculous. Even the scorecards are probably going to reflect that because it was a 29-28. If they give Rakic the final round, I'd be surprised. But, you know, it is what it is. Rakic just... like, he's so close to being there, and then he just gave up on himself, you know? And you can see it in the way he fights. It's like, every time it's like, oh, body kick now, and he goes for it, and he hesitates so much that it's like, oh, you have, like, no confidence that's gonna land at all, you know? If you've ever trained any sort of martial art, you get that when it's like, oh, somebody just stepped away, and it's like, oh, okay, well, that feint was just like, yeah, I'm never landing that, you know? And that's just what Rakic looked like. It looked like he just went to throw something, and he's like, I'll never land that. Let me stick to what I know here. But it's like, brother, chop his fucking legs, you know? They're there to be chopped. Do a little switch stance. Fucking bang them shits, you know? Like, come on now. You're letting Ankalaev get away with a fucking jab, bro. Like, come on. He even looked... And to be fair... you could say he had a perfect fight against Yuri. It hurt him morally, and, like, that's kind of the red flag for Rakic. If the Rakic... here's how I put it. If the Rakic that showed up to fight Yuri fought Ankalaev, he wins that 30-27 or by knockout. No problem in my mind. This Rakic, he got broken by Yuri, you know? And I think that's what we're seeing, you know? It was a European versus European for the European king, and Rakic lost. And now it's like... got to go on a downfall to climb his way back up. It sucks, but, you know, it's rough for Rakic. But Ankalaev didn't look like he'd beat Pereira. That's what I would say. He's not shooting takedowns. He's thinking that he's the better striker. And against Rakic, you shouldn't be doing that. I know he did do it and he got away doing it. You shouldn't be doing that, you know? If you're trying to win as an Ankalaev, you shouldn't be doing that. That's all I'm saying, you know? Like, if Merab only striked with Sean O'Malley, I think we all know how that goes, you know? It's like, stuff like that, where it's like, you know, if Jarikas only struck with Sean Strickland, we know how that goes. Do you know what I mean? It's... ooh. Magomed Ankalaev, to me, still doesn't have the IQ, and he's still very basic, and he kinda is just getting older. I think he's still gonna get left hooked, you know? I think he's still gonna get that head kick, that switch kick, head kick, you know? Like, he's looking open. He's not looking tight and clean and dominant and, you know, this and that. He's looking beatable. He's looking, oh, congrats, you knocked out Johnny Walker. Oh, you know? It's like, I'm not seeing that. And I'm not saying I'm never picking Magomed Ankalaev because his first name's Magomed, you know what I mean? But what I am saying is that I'm not seeing that level of fighter for Magomed Ankalaev to beat Pereira, you know what I mean? And it's like, Pereira's only getting better. I'd still pick Pereira to beat Ankalaev. Even at the end of this year, I'd still pick him to beat Ankalaev. It is what it is. Moving on, Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev. Oh yeah, so that makes me, what does that make me? What was I, 4-4 at the start? 5-4, 5-5. Ugh. Yeah, I didn't do well. I'd be 5-6, 5-7. Oh fuck. 5-8. God damn. All right, I did not do well. It is what it is. You know, you have bad cards. Anyways, Robert Whittaker. If you haven't seen the image, I know. Listen. If you're a Robert Whittaker fan, I know. Brother. I know. Okay, I know. That tap was insane. What kind of weak-chinned pussy bitch would ever tap to that? Is the first thing that comes to your mind. I know. You know, how good is fucking Gilbert Burns, you know? Like, we're gonna be hearing this for a long time as Whittaker fans. We know. We know. You don't need to rub it in, okay? We know. Alright? But if you see that image that Whittaker posted with his teeth at the, like, literally at the bottom of his mouth, like gum, mushed, teeth that way in his mouth. I get why he fucking tapped. Alright? That's all I'm saying. You know? Is Hamzat a, like, crazy guy? Is he gonna ragdoll everyone? No. I still don't see it. I think this was a good fight for Hamzat. I think he deserved the win. It was a very... He earned the win, you know? However, let's not forget he still gasses outside of round 1. You know? If DDP survives round 1, it's wraps for Hamzat, alright? You know, Sean Strickland, who's got really good wrestling defense, anti-grapples the fuck out of Hamzat. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are like, oh, Sean Strickland gets smashed. Oh, this person gets smashed. Oh, fucking DDP gets smashed. Can we remember the Kamaru Usman fight? You know what I mean? It's like, if you just survive a round, which is like what Whittaker had planned, that's it. It's wraps for Hamzat. But he does have a dangerous first round, and you just have to be alert in that first round. You know, he's a first round merchant, as they say. But yeah, it's, you know, he's also getting older, and you have to pray that he doesn't get a fucking cough on fight week. You know what I mean? There's a lot of caveats we have for cum shot here. I mean, you know what I mean. But yeah, it's this one's a rough one to watch because it was so like finally Hamzat's gonna get a test, and Whittaker taps like chicken. You know, it's like, fuck, man. It's like, go to war, you fucking. Anyways, fucking grapplers, man. Just like, duke it out on the feet at least, you know. And then when you're losing, shoot, so we can call you a nut hugger. Anyways, it sucks. It is what it is. Now we go on to the main event. Got this one wrong. Don't know. I was picking Max Holloway by decision. And now we live in a reality where Ilya knocked him out. Now, what I will say, this one definitely didn't hit as hard as the Volkanovski one. That one was like a, I can't fucking believe my eyes. Even though that one was more circumstantial than this one. Because arguably this one's way more impressive than knocking out Volk. I'd argue it's more impressive than knocking out Volk. But man, this guy's a killer. Ilya is an absolute fucking assassin. I do think he smokes everyone in the division, aside from Diego Lopez. I want to see that matchup first before I make my decision. Okay. And then I think he clears lightweight. I don't think anyone in lightweight gives him problems, being honest. You know, and I think Ilya... So I think the thing with Ilya is that when he thinks you're the better fighter than him, because he knows that a lot of it's ego when it comes into shit talk, you know? A lot of it, he doesn't mean it, you know? He's just saying it for attention. And he knows, you know, Volkanovski's one of the great. He knows Max Holloway's one of the great. You know? He knows this. And I think that's what we've learned from this. He knows and respects them as fighters. He knows the danger they present. He knows the type of fight they're gonna fight. So what he purposely does is give away rounds to then read the opponent and get that knockout. And that's just what happened with Max Holloway. And I think that's what he's been doing up until a Josh Emmett, which, yeah, how good is Josh Emmett, really? You know? You know, a lot of people in my friend group gave me flack for picking Josh Emmett against Ilya. Hey, that doesn't look too bad now, alright? But yeah, he knocked out Max. It sucks. But at the end of the day, we have an actual killer now at featherweight. Not a decision Holloway. I'm not shitting on Holloway. You know, there's still good fights. But Max isn't a killer. He's a beater. You know what I mean? He beats the shit out of you. Whoops your ass. You know? But he's not knocking you unconscious unless you're Gaethje, you know? Or an old TKZ. Those are the differences. But, yeah. I think... I'm not even joking. If I was Max, if I was standing in Max's shoes, I'd just email the BMF belt to Ilya Topuria and just be like, hey, brother, all I can ask, don't make it public. You know what I mean? There's not much to say. I mean, Ilya Ilya had a good round 2. I do think Max was winning 2-0. That's how I had it. Obviously, I have a bias towards Max. So I can see it 1-1. Don't think you can give round 1 to Ilya. I think it was a clear Max Holloway. If you want to give it to Ilya, you're a little bit of a, glazer. Get off the guy's, I get it if you're Georgian, but come on now. Grow up. Anyways, yeah, no, Max, the granite chin got cracked, First knockout he's ever received. Now, this wasn't a flatline. This wasn't a Volkanovski knockout. This was a, oh, I got clipped. I'm going down. And he was still up, but the ref called it. You know what I mean? Like, he was still awake, but it was like two or three more punches out cold type of situation. So I'm glad we didn't have to see Max's lights turn off. I'm happy with that. Ilya got it done. He's a killer, man. I don't think I can pick against Ilya until a Diego Lopez matchup happens, and I mean that in terms of a lightweight, featherweight situation. I do think Ilya would smoke Islam. I don't even think it's actually that close. And here's what I'll say by that. I don't mean the current look of Ilya, because currently Ilya, let's be honest, midsection's a little soy. A lot of that muscle weight's in the fucking arms, all right? And that's why he's knocking out people in his back, for his grappling and shit. But Ilya's problem is that the thing with Ilya, okay, hear me out, right? He is good, like monstrously good, right? Finisher on the ground, finisher on the feet, great submission game, jiu-jitsu, great boxing, right? We all agree. No disagreements. But there are people who are better than him on the feet in terms of diversity. It's not just a hook, right, It's not just a boxing game, There are some people with these spinning kicks, with these question mark kicks. And that's what we saw lit up Ilya in the first rounds. Even like a good rangy jab, And Ilya gets tagged when he's against these top-level, high-level guys. Even Volkanovski was winning round 1. I think the way to beat Ilya is that you have to be able to go band for band. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have a scrap with him, but you have to, out-tough him in that scrap. So you not only have to be as tough or tougher, but you have to have the same level of heat in the hands. You have to match it. And that's the only way to really beat Ilya. You basically have to overwhelm him with either the diverse section you got with the same level of toughness, or you're fucked, And Max doesn't present a submission wrestling threat at all. But it's kind of just like, if you only have stand-up, you'll lose. If you only have ground game, you'll lose. You have to have everything to the same level and be as tough, And the main part is as tough. Because, listen, Max Holloway did get wobbled. I thought he got wobbled in round 2. I'm not going to lie. Early in round 2, I got a little worried. But in round 3, when he got knocked out, it was because he had his hands down and he got clipped by a crazy shot. That's not like, Max Holloway's crazy toughness finally cracked. I get that, right? But it's like, Ilya also landed like a perfect shot, It's like Joaquin Buckley landing that fucking nasty hook when Wonder Boy was trying to get up. It's like, yeah, that's probably going to knock out anyone. That's not even, I know Wonder Boy's old, but it's like, that's probably knocking out 90% of the division. You know what I mean? You have to have like a Marvin Vettori level chin in order to survive something like that. And it really does suck for Max. Max is probably going to go on a spiral. I don't want to talk about it. Don't even want to think about it right now. Just want to think about Ilya. I'm happy for Ilya. If you're a Jordan fan, obviously you're happy. I've seen a couple of their rule books. Kind of based, I'm not going to lie, I'm just saying. Maybe some of the world, maybe, certain countries that I currently live in should start abiding by some of those rules. Just saying, Just saying. But yeah, Ilya's good, man. Is he the GOAT? No. Oh, hold on now. He did knock out an old Volk after a knockout loss. I don't think that's that impressive. Knocking out Max Holloway, in my opinion, is very much impressive. But the main thing is here, obviously he's going to move up. I think that's the next step. I think he does fight an Islam Makhachev. I think that's the next fight. Ilya can wait. He's proven that he smokes everyone in the division. If not, I wouldn't mind a Diego Lopez situation, but I do want to see like an Islam versus Ilya, and then we can start talking about certain conversations about him being the GOAT. Pound for pound number one, I understand an argument. My personal take is I'd still put Alex there, but I completely understand if you want to put Ilya there. A lot of people rank Volkanovski as one of the great featherweights of all time. Other people rate Max Holloway second. And then Jose Aldo is either your number one, number two, or number three. Obviously, Jose Aldo's not in this picture right now. But Ilya now has two of the biggest heads in featherweight under his record, you know? And that's something to be said. You know, this isn't like well, DDP beat Israel Adesanya, and, you know, well, Sean Strickland, you know, technically has only lost to former champions in the past, like, 10 years or whatever, other than Jared Cannonier, you know? It's not one of those situations. You know, this is like, no, he beat some of the undisputed pound-for-pound number ones at the time. But now it's kind of like, this is Ilya's era. We gotta see who else is in the Ilya era, you know? We can't just look at, well, he beat all the old GOATs, so that makes him the GOAT. No. Okay? You gotta pass some of your tests in your division, you know? But I do think Ilya needs to, if he's going to lightweight, I think he needs to make it permanent. I think he needs to, like, bulk up big, you know, get some meat on those fucking, his soy midsection, just saying. And once he does that, move up to lightweight, then have your fight. That's why I want him to take, like, a year off or something here, like an 8-month year off, bulk up, get yoked, challenge Islam, because Islam's only going to fight once next year in October, you know? I think Ilya is fighter of the year, for sure. I don't think it's really that arguable. Even if Alex would fight Ankalaev in December, knocked him out, I still would pick Ilya as my not pound for pound number one, the fighter of the year for sure. Alex has just done a lot more within a smaller amount of time. Ilya is slowly becoming a bigger and bigger name. It's great for Ilya, you know? It's good for Ilya. So, happy with Ilya. It was a great fight, you know? Really sucks that, you know, Max got knocked out. It is what it is, though. It's a fight game, you know? All chins must crumble at some point. And we know what happens when they crumble. I just don't want to think about it right now, you know? Even if you're an Ilya fan, hey, you know, let's just have some mercy on Max Holloway for a little bit, you know what I mean? But, yeah. That being said, overall, I thought the card was pretty good. Very demoralizing, if you're a true fan of Warriors, let me just say. Yeah. Yeah, good card. Probably 7 out of 10 card. I'd rate it. Next event is November. Oh, it's actually next weekend. Well, that one's okay. Okay. Yeah. John Jones Stipe. Oh boy. Oh, Paul Craig. Okay. Yeah. So, good card. That's my breakdown, I guess. Kind of disappointed by a lot of the fights that were supposed to be, you know, there, but they kind of just, I guess, flew away with some of the fighters. Dan Ige was looking game in round 1, gassed out, I guess. First time in his career. Rakic just turned off his brain. Robert Whittaker, his teeth got fucking absolutely removed from his mouth. Sucks to see. But, yeah, Max Holloway gets knocked out. But, you know, Ilya is a likable guy. We know he's gonna talk shit. We know, you know, there's a gimmick with him. He's good personality, and may I say, he might just be the best looking male UFC fighter to ever wear a suit, alright? Let me just say, once I saw that black suit with the rose in it, you know, on the leading to the fight, I was like, eesh, you know, Ilya's getting his aura, you know? But right now, Ilya is majority aura, however, he's got the skills to back it up. You know, this is like what Conor thinks he was, you know? This is like what Conor McGregor thinks he was in terms of skill. Now Ilya's just like hidden, you know? But yeah, with all that being said, want to thank you for watching. That's my breakdown of the card. I do it every weekend. Tune in next weekend, you know, with Brandon Moreno and Miro Bozzi. I'm sure that'll be fun. But yeah, all that being said, want to thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a good day.